What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bodybuilding Prospect podcast with Alex Williams and myself, George Wilson. This week we have got a little bit of a catch-up episode. Me and I haven't spoke properly on air for a little while. A lot to go through and a lot going on. So what's new, Al? Besides,
I got COVID. Yeah, that's the main thing. Hence why I sound like Elmer Fudd right now. For those who don't know what that is, yeah, got COVID the other day, so I am housebound for a bit. Even though the rules do say I can go outside and socialise, I'm not an arsehole, so I'm not going to go to the gym and be around people when you don't need to be. So, and it brought my deload a little bit earlier, which is cool because I was in my last week of my training block, last week of fat loss, which was sick. So I got to have extra food 4 days early, which people know when you're dieting. It's always a bit of good news when your food gets up a bit early. Was annoying. I had to say this to Ellie. I don't like it because I'm turning into you because it annoyed me. It annoyed me. I didn't get to finish my last week. It'd have been a perfect 9-week stretch of everything. And it got called short by something I couldn't control. And I was like, it actually made me mad. Like, because it wasn't perfect. That famous word optimal, which we love to throw around these days. What's going on with you anyway?
This is the way. Mate, everything's manic mind. Plates.
You're so busy, I don't even get WhatsApp no more.
Plates. Yeah, mate, that's because I don't even have time to look at my phone. Plates are spinning. It's all good. It's good spinning at the moment. It's pressure I like. But it's the Flex Success stuff was officially launched. I'm dealing with people from Australia and New Zealand and shit. Like, it's pretty cool.
Don't just hover over it. Tell people what it is, because people that don't know what Flex Success is, what you become part of, tell them what went down. George doesn't gas himself up, so I'll make sure he tells everyone what.
So Flex Success is an international prep company run by Dean McKillop and his Mrs. Lizzie. They set it up in Australia. It's like a collaborative for educational purposes, kind of like a member site, but they don't have a forum or anything on there. But they have numerous different educational packages around macro tracking, the psychological side of dieting for like Gen Pop people, like how to approach life after dieting, things like this. And then obviously Dean manages bodybuilding for the Flex Success team, and they were looking to branch out into the UK, needed a coach to represent them, and that landed as me somehow in a weird twist of events. I'm now their UK prep coach. Obviously handling people outside the UK as well, but mainly everything is through the UK at the moment. It's all just been a bit crazy, to be honest.
What how's the startup been? Go for obviously, the conversation that we had joining another team.
You see the head battle of I don't know. It's not pride. I don't think it's pride. But when you work so long to build like a business up, and when I sit there and say, I've been grafting for 2 years to build up GW Physics the way it was, to someone who's been grafting 10, 20 years, it probably be like, fuck it, doesn't matter. But for me, it's what I've lived and breathed every day, 7 days a week for the last 2 years. Like, day off wasn't a thing because I knew I wanted to graft to get everything going. So it was like a bit of an emotional release, letting go of that to move into something new. But it didn't take me long to settle in. Like I said to them, funny enough, like I didn't start coaching to be an entrepreneur. I didn't start it because I saw pound buck signs floating about. I did it because I want to be a good coach and I enjoy coaching. So whether that's under GW Physique or now Flex Success, I'm still doing what I love and enjoy, just even more so of what I love and enjoy with people that I love working with now. So it was like some people would say it's a step back because I've let go of my business, but it's a huge leap forward in every other aspect, like, beyond belief. So, it was a bit of a tough one, but it was, once I made the decision, I was pretty at peace with it.
Yeah. I think what's going to be great to see is, of course, people know George as a coach now. People have seen the graft he's put in, not only with his own physique, but with his brand and how much he actually has learned in what some people would see as a short period of time. Now they actually go to George for consults. They go to me to go to George to consult with him. And if they've asked me a question, and if it's normally drugs related, there's only one person I point him to, and that's him, purely because he knows more. You're going to want to learn from the people who know more. So I'm going to put you in the direction of someone who does know more, you know? And, you know, yes, he has his own competitive clients that are on their journeys there. To join an already officiated company where he gets the high level clients, you're going to see what George can do with the physique more so on a larger scale. And it's going to be, obviously, we've got his first client competing, obviously his partner, Zoe, at the end of this month, which can be sick. We'll both be there.
Couple of weeks. She is 3 weeks out.
So. Yeah, hotel booked today, ticket booked today. Looking forward to planning the food adventures, see what accessibility we're going to have to what sort of, that's one thing quickly go into. What's the sort of food situation going to be? That, are you taking cool bag? Have you got a fridge? I don't even know what my hotel's got.
Mate, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be worrying about Zoe and making sure everything she gets ticked off. And I'm going to sit there in the day and go, oh, I've got 6,000 calories to eat. Fuck.
Where are we going to eat?
Yeah, that's going to be me. I can see it already.
Yeah. Cool. What I was thinking is, obviously I didn't say to us before we recorded, but of course bring your camera as well, because I have no drama, you know, walking around with the camera, getting, because this is the first one, you know, and it's going to be awesome to get to see how you're going to see, obviously in George's YouTube and obviously his Instagram, what it's like to be a coach of an athlete on the day. Of course, you're going to see other coaches how they do their things, the one-to-one time, the attention to detail, looking at the physique after every meal, looking at the physique after every small adjustment, being anal with everything to make sure the most perfect package is there. And I know George is a person, he's not going to be too much fun to be around, I'll be honest, until she gets on stage. I already know what it's going to be like. I'll probably be on my own for a little bit. Because
I'm just not very talkative. That's what it is. My head will be so locked in. Like everyone, if someone says something to me, if it's not about what's in front of me, it'll just go past me.
Yeah, mate, just give me the bags. I'll carry them about, right? and I'll see you in the auditorium.
Nah, but I trust your opinion though. That's the difference.
It's going to be, of course, like George knows, of course, I'm a massive fan of open bodybuilding and bodybuilding itself, the male side. I know George's ability for female is way above mine. He's taught me so much of different parts of female physiques, of categories. And, you know, I know my knowledge only goes a certain way. But of course, when you look at someone who's a competitor, you can respect when a physique's looking on the money, you know, how she's feeling. To make sure if I have to say something at one point, mate, chill the fuck out. She's on the money. You know, don't.
This is another thing. Stop thinking. I'm gonna if me and her go on our own, which we are for one of them.
Yeah,
I'll be all right. But I know that I would appreciate having that. Shush, simmer down. Just wait, chill.
No doubt, you're gonna have Joe a phone call away on that day, or if not, he might even be there. You know, and you'll have maybe even some other coaches, you know, that we've networked with, and people like, there's going to be someone who you respect. If they need it, I'm sure you'd ask. But I know what you're like. It's my athlete. I know what I'm doing. You know,
it kind of is. It's no. It's more. It's because it's just not just that. It's my missus as well. Like, doesn't matter what applies to other athletes. I know her inside out, like to the letter. Yeah. And we've had a chance to learn that over the last like 2 years of working together. So. I know exactly what needs to be done, and it's going to be cool, like you said, taking the camera, filming, talking through like how we peaked her, you know, what we did, because obviously on show day it's going to be pretty basic. Like it's nothing interesting is going to happen. There's going to be a couple of meals, a few rounds of posing, a little look at her glamming up and stuff. So give me an opportunity to sit down and talk to the camera.
Just look at it. It is already ready. Obviously, that's one shot, of course, mate. That is to see from her first show. When was it? 2 years ago now?
2 and a bit. 2 and a bit.
2 and a bit. And to see how they pushed the off season, obviously coming up and seeing George and Zoe, staying with them, the emotional side of things. You know, when you were pushing weight, adjusting her hormones. There is so much that went in from the back end of working with her old coach. She had some hormone things going on. George got clued up to the nines on some of the craziest terminology that will still go over my head for a long time.
Just a quick overview for that. The reason why I don't like comparing Zoe's off-season picks to her in prep now is because it wasn't normal circumstances. Most female competitors won't have to deal with what Zoe did in the off-season. At the back of her show, that typical amenorrhea is just the loss of female hormones during extreme dieting phases. Energy gets low, the body prioritizes other things. So it's quite normal for a female to lose her cycle at some point towards the end. Zoe lost hers 2 weeks into dieting with her old coach. again, genetic individuality could happen. You know, it depends on person to person, but the goal post show is always recovery. It's not reverse diet, it's recovery. Let's get her back to homeostasis. Let's bring back her hormones and make sure she's healthy. But she was reversed out of her show. I won't name names of her coach because I don't like to slate him because he did a good job at getting her in shape. And I always say that.
Oh, yeah.
The after bit wasn't managed correctly. And she went another 3 months post show without any cycle, any periods. Her hormones were way out of whack. When we finally done some blood work, when I finally took over, there was a lot to be done. She was nowhere near normal range. But that then meant the longer we left it, the more aggressive we had to be to get things back, which meant accumulating body fat at an exponentially fast rate that is not comfortable and also not healthy. You know, it's a double-edged sword here. We'd have to do some not healthy things to get her hormones back and then try and control whatever we get out at the end of it. So yeah, like I said, I don't like throwing up comparisons. I'll do comparisons from when she was maybe 12 weeks out to prep and compare, because that's really like normal off-season condition. But her off-season, in inverted brackets, was more to fix health than it was to put on tissue. But luckily, we did manage to make some big improvements along the way. But it was like I said, it was just a bit of a shambles, man.
Now, obviously, coming up and seeing you guys, seeing the prep come together, you know, as athletes know that listen to this, it is hard, you know, and when you have to be, this is like the unique part of it, you're the coach and you're the partner, and you know, you can go into now and obviously you give people insight that don't know your approach to how you do your check-ins, because I know you still do it as if it's not one of your normal clients. It's on the check-in phone. Go through that, you know, the system to make sure it works, because there are going to be people out there who are going to maybe coach their clients, who are going to be partners, maybe even family members.
My first bit of advice for someone who's considering to coach their partner is make sure you've got a good, stable, mature, being the key word there, level in your relationship. It's not, there's times when you have to make decisions that boyfriend George would not like. Like, boyfriend George did not like seeing Zoe starving, hungry, and telling her, well, sorry, babe, you got to push harder to get this. Boyfriend George didn't like doing that, but Coach George is very unemotional and knows exactly that is what needs to be done. So being able to separate the two personalities, it almost made me bipolar, man. It really did. Because I'll reply to her check-in, and then 5 minutes after, the brain switches back to boyfriend George, and it's like I'm trying to be all nice and consoling and understanding when I'm the one who's just told her, yeah, sorry, bye carbs.
Yeah,
it's hard managing that. So the way I did it was treating her exactly like a client. So she checks in, she sends me her pictures, sends me her videos. I will not talk to her about that. She will get a response via Loom of me talking to the screen or by WhatsApp, whatever, and I break it down like a normal client. And then when that's done, that's business done. When she comes back and I see her, then it's back to boyfriend George. So just separating that meant that we could form pretty good understanding and some trust as well. Like, she trusts me as a boyfriend, but she had to learn to trust me as a coach as well, which took time. It's a lot. It is a lot. And if you do, I think we're both very mature for our age, which made it very easy to do, because when the hard decisions come, Zoe knows she's doing this because she wants to. She doesn't care. You know, her last prep was awful. She felt like shit. So she knew that it was potentially going to happen again. Obviously, it didn't at all. But, you know, when the hard decision needed to be made, she respected that because she knows that it's for her to get to where she wants. Like, there's no, what's the word? There's no like fighting back from it. Like, fuck you, cunt, taking away my carbs.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
It's professional. Yes.
Yeah. But again, it was that separation that led to that. I can't, if you try and just do the whole look at your missus in the morning, yeah, I think I know what to do. Yeah, you can't. You've got to split it and keep it in your environment and your routine. That's the only way I found it manageable. And now I can look at her. Now I can just look at her in the morning and go, yeah, no, sweet, cool. Like, we've got that kind of, the two worlds have merged a little bit now. But it had to get to a point where that was okay. If we did that straight from the off, there would have been no trust built or anything.
Yeah. And I think once you start seeing these final few weeks, how the images look, it's just nothing short of impressive. And
Yeah, no,
you see, I know, like you hover over, like you post a little picture on social media, like a story, because it's not done yet. I know the job's not done yet. There's still some tweaking there, but it's just like the level up is just, and that's what you want to see. We'll go into that as well. Is people that compete back to back. People competing in the same class year on year. Oh, I'm going to compete in April, and then I'm going to hit the September shows, and I'm going to qualify for the British or whatever, and things like that. And yeah, those are things I haven't done myself, so maybe my opinion doesn't go too far on this. But how much better are you going to get in a certain period of time? Zoe, for one, has just taken over 2 years in between shows. I'm in now what am I now? Jesus, I'm in like month 15 out of 20 something months.
this is the thing, man. Like, it doesn't matter, natural, enhanced, whatever you are. The time it takes to add new muscle to a frame takes a long time, and it's not doable in 3-6 months, maybe even not. You need a year.
I mean, you see the guys at the top level that come back year on year, but that's because they're at the top. They're scratching that first, second, third every single show, a couple of overalls in between of smaller shows, only because the other guy didn't turn up, sort of thing, who also is at the top level. Guys like Andy Scott, Greg Taylor, Josh Law, Josh Maley, those guys straight off the top of the bat, Joe Ballinger, guys who are at the top of you.
They've spent the years building the physique to where it needs to be, that they only need a few tweaks. Their off season can be 6 months long because they've only got to make a small tweak to their already pretty good physique to make it that 1% better. Whereas all the guys coming up, you haven't built that physique yet, so you can't really be doing a competitive season and then taking 3 months off to prep again for the entire year. It's just not work.
Especially when it comes to categories like, you can train for a few years and then jump in classic, and you've got a good chance of winning. Let's be honest. And your runway to possibly have a pro level physique sometimes doesn't have to take as long, whereas guys in the open, you're looking at 10 years deep in bodybuilding, like real bodybuilding potentially, if you're going to be a super heavyweight British champion, pro card earning physique. Just respect, same as like even bikini ladies, girls that come into their first couple of years of training, they're a little bit genetically gifted, they've got great glutes, great shape to their delts, nice good physique, and they're chasing a pro level physique quite quickly, which can happen.
I think I completely agree, but I think that there's good and there's bad in it. Again, bikini and men's physique are the two categories I see this most. They are the most abused and also the most underrated categories. Why? Because people look at bikini and men's physique as introductory. Like, it's not introductory. You don't step up the ladder and, I'm going to start here and work up to here. It may happen like that. Like, that may be the course you take, but it shouldn't be your intention. And the reason why bikini is flooded with some subpar athletes competing, and the reason why men's physique gets the same, is because people see it as like the introduction to bodybuilding. Like, no, bikini, figure, wellness, they are all just as skilled and take just as long to kind of perfect that look, and they should all be held on that same level. You shouldn't be looking at them as an introductory step up the ladder, like one is better than the other. Bikini is a specific look, and people were just small. The same like what we said about bodybuilders and classic. Like, there's people that do classic that shouldn't be doing classic because they don't have the structure, the flow, the nice look to the physique that is classic.
Let me jump in there. So right now, I'd make weight for a classic category. I could for my height. Would I be rewarded for my physique? No. The structure isn't there. Do I have an aesthetically pleasing physique when I'm in shape? Yeah. But is it a classic bodybuilding shape? No.
They're looking at specific criteria.
Do I fit the criteria? No. Hence why, when I was smaller, I competed as a fitness model first, because I was fitness model size. I could compete in there happily and place okay. I got a bit bigger. I went into muscle model because I had more muscle than a fitness model. You go there. I now want to go into bodybuilding. The level from category to category is a lot more. And I respect that, hopefully. Some people may not do that and they think they can just jump in. Some people are happy bodybuilding for a hobby. The people that want to be a lightweight bodybuilder, a middleweight, a second call out men's physique guy, just compete to just do it. There are loads of people that do it. But to me, I see that as fucking pointless because, like, you don't want to win. You know, you don't want to, you don't have the belief in yourself that you can really get amongst this. And I don't know, you're going to be cast aside. Like you get guys who were, say for example, a couple of years ago, you had like Abu, Michael DeBull, John Loftus, you know, those guys are at the top of the classic amateur ranks. So you're thinking you're trying to stand against that dude, and you genuinely think you've got a chance to beat him. Nah, it's not happening, mate. One, he's 15 pounds bigger than you. His flow's unreal. The genetic structure is like, if you notice, there is a criteria which they go for, and some of these guys do look very similar, you know. And you got to think, if you don't fit it, just because you're 6'3" and you've hit the weight cap, it doesn't mean you're going to be a classic bodybuilder. It just doesn't happen, and you stand out as a different guy. You just don't fit in.
Yeah, I've been to shows and I've watched in the amateurs, fucking in the bodybuilding specifically. You go and see like the biggest guy doesn't win on stage, and everyone's start throwing their fucking hands up in the air. And it's like, yeah, but he was big, but he didn't look like a bodybuilder. Yeah. The way two fucking places along, there was 10 kilos lighter.
Yeah,
he's got bodybuilding structure. He's got bodybuilding muscularity, muscle bellies, insertion points. He looks like a bodybuilder. Just because he's smaller doesn't mean anything. It's the look. It's a criteria. Yeah. And it's instead of just matching up your numbers for height and weight, think about how you look and trying to pick a class that you want. If you want to be a classic bodybuilder, but you don't suit it, then that's probably going to be a bitter pill to swallow. But you're better off swallowing it, accepting it, and then focusing on something else.
Yeah. And there's some of those guys, this is not to throw shots at anyone in particular, but you see guys that say, oh yeah, I'm going to be in the super heavyweights. It's like, yes, mate, but you're 6'4". Of course you're going to be up. Your weight's going to be holding.
You're going to look like an idiot next to a heavyweight, aren't you?
Yeah, you're like, once you're going to stand next to the heavyweight who wins. If you make it, obviously, so that wouldn't even happen because you wouldn't even make it to the overall. But you're going to stand next to the super heavyweight of 5'10", 5'9", or whatever it is, who's a true super heavyweight. And you're just going to be embarrassed because I get it. Everyone wants to be there now. No one wants to be the guy who's got to put the work in. I realize I've got a long way for me to be a bodybuilder, you know, but you just got to like respect it. And it's just because when the time comes, it's going to be bittersweet. And that's all it is, you know. And
it takes as long as it takes. And that's not down to anyone else. It's just down to you. How long is it going to take for you? If you tick every box and you're as 100% as possible and you live and breathe this, it might take you 3 years, it might take you 2, it might take you 10. Sadly, you don't know that, but that's what you're risking. That's what you're putting in.
There was a Rich Piana video, and I know people have mixed views of Rich Piana, but he did come out with some truths. And it was an old video of his, and he said, he's sitting there eating his chicken and rice, whatever, and he was like, so you want to be a bodybuilder, right? And he's like pretending to answer back. Yeah. And he's like, how much do you think, would you want to be a pro? He's, how much do you think a pro bodybuilder weighs? When he turns, about 230, maybe 240. He's like, how much do you weigh at the minute? About 190. He was like, you competing next year? Yeah. Why? He's like, why don't you just wait? He was like, you're going to go into a prep for 16 weeks, 20 weeks, ever. You're going to lose some muscle tissue potentially in that, and you're going to waste that time. Why not wait until you are going to be that 230, 240 and then compete? Why not? And it's so simple, you know, because even people say to me now, I've had like over a year off, I'm looking forward to seeing you compete. Like, yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. But it ain't ready yet. Simple as, oh yeah, but you're a big dude. You don't see who I see. You don't see what I see. And you don't know who this bloke is in this gym 60 miles down the road. The one with 200 Instagram followers, the guy from Romania who's going to turn up, the guy from fucking Slovakia who doesn't even know what Instagram is. You know, these guys do turn up and they wipe the floor with some people because it happened with the Arnold. Heavyweights, Romanian dude.
That was it. He didn't even have did he have? I thought he had like his social media had like 5 followers or something. It was like a picture of a dog or something on there.
Something like that.
Someone found him. I can't remember, or it might have just been speculation. He was like a ghost.
Yeah, because Greg Taylor was my favourite going into it to become the pro, and he ended up winning the super heavyweights like I hoped he would because I was a big fan of his physique. But he was going against the best British guys like Josh Law, Andy Scott, Josh Maley. I think no, not Josh Maley went there. So he beat those guys, made it to the overall. I was like, sweet, but the super heavyweight usually wins the pro card. But this heavyweight in his own class, he obviously looked great and he won. But then you put him next to Greg, and it was like, fuck, this dude actually looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, everything from the tan, even his trunks, mate. He had like these luminous yellow trunks on, and he just looked more pleasing. I was like, fuck, like he might actually get edged out because how pleasing this dude, and he won his pro card.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one even knew who he was. So you got all these guys who get hyped on Instagram, and this wasn't what Greg. He's not a hype guy on Instagram, but you get guys that do, and then they get pissed on, and you just love to see it because it does happen. And
this is why it's going to take 10 years to build that physique, because you're not going to turn up set and be second place. You want to win.
No, I would. It's got to be that way. Got to be that way.
Or at least that's the mentality you got to be working with to go into that. If it happens, that depends on what happens on the day. But
yeah, my mentality is I'm going to go against 30-year-old men who've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to be 26, 27 when that happens. And I want to be the same level, if not better than those guys. Because to me, those guys are behind.
Yeah.
I need to try at least match it or beat it, because otherwise you're not going to win, mate. You're going to stand next to him. You're going to be like, look at this kid. You're right, kid. You know what I mean?
But there's a good bit of advice for people that listen. If these are your goals and you want to be a bodybuilder, get with a good coach, not someone who's just trying to market you off and prep you because he wants another shredded person to put on his feed to get some more money in. Go and get with a coach who actually cares about building you the physique you want, and then just listen to them. Like if they say to you, yeah, it's going to take us 2-3 years, it can take us 5 years, it can take us probably like 7. Listen to that, take that in, and then make a decision on whether you want to put that much time in. And if you do, then get to work. Get a coach who cares about you and wants to see you go where you want to go. Your goal specifically, like I said, not just, he wants to be a bodybuilder. Let's chuck him in a men's physique show just because he ain't big enough to be there yet. But if he's shredded, he's shredded. It's more likes for me and more money.
Let me go into. So I had a guy inquire a while back. I mentioned it to you. He was an old client of a coach of ours. His feedback last time was to bring up his hamstrings. And I said, if you're joining me, we're definitely going to go into a leg dominated block. We're going to bring up those hamstrings because it's the only thing you're missing to have an even physique. And then you'll be competitive. He ends up choosing not to work with me. Fair enough. You know what happens.
Went with Sass.
He went with Sass.
Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
And now he's 14 weeks out competing.
Improvements have not been made.
You're going to be told the same thing. And I was a bit cheesed up because he never contacted me back or anything, which is fair enough. But a bit of decency, whatever. But you know what the answer is, mate. You know, fair play. If you want to get back amongst it, you want to get amongst bodybuilding scene again, fair enough. But you are going to get told the same thing. It's just it, And
if you come off stage, you get told you need to improve hamstrings, for example, like this fella, and you go away and you do nothing to improve your hamstrings, and then you jump back into another prep.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked when the judge's feedback tells you the exact same thing as your last outing.
And it's almost like it's a bit interesting that someone like Sass didn't say anything like that. It's probably on his mind, or maybe it was the other guy who said, no, I want to compete. I don't want to do the off season. I don't want to do the improvement phase.
This is the thing.
Who knows how the conversation went, because the coach will obviously just guide you to where you want to go.
Yeah, he'll say, what's your goal? And if you go, I want to be a good bodybuilder, go, right, well, you look all right. Let's do a show.
Yeah, you do all right. Yeah. But it's like, some personal stuff. When I first joined Joe, and he literally said to me, he was like, your actions, mate, you ain't getting nowhere fucking near where you want to go. Straight up. He didn't swear, because Joe doesn't really swear a lot, for those that don't know him.
Does he not?
Not too much of me, I noticed. Doesn't really curse too much.
He's just polite with you.
Yeah. And that was a bit of pill to swallow, because I thought I had true belief I was going to be all right with the way I was doing things. You know me, you know what I was like. I had true belief I was right. Because, I got genetically gifted in ways to grow muscle by eating poor, with little adherence and balance in the off season. And when it's time to prep, we can rein it into 100%. But it's like, but what if you did 100% now? We
can squash that myth right now. There's one thing Al doesn't have a problem with doing, is slapping on some beef.
Yeah.
I watched him, what was it, like 5-10 kilos?
Yeah.
On the oxygen.
Oxygen plan it worked for me.
This is probably like, looking back from current research, is probably the least optimal training program you could do to grow tissue. All you are doing is frying your central nervous system, right? Doing this training program, right? It's drop set everything, fucking ridiculous protocols. It's absolutely pointless. Apologies if you're listening to this, mate. But yeah, it's fucking shit. And Alex was eating pretty much what he wanted. It was on, like, Monday to Friday he'd still eat his chicken and rice, but like if he wanted a pizza, he'd have a pizza. And I watched him blow up.
Yeah.
So his ability to grow tissue is there, which is why for years The last two anyway, I've been hounded at him to fucking just do it.
And what I needed was for George to do exactly what he did. He just did this, right? And I was doing this, and I was like, why? This is really annoying. I was like, and Joe was like, you know what the answer is? He's like, he doesn't miss a beat, and I found it so hard. You know, once anyone's in the mindset of prep, getting things done, being accurate, you're just getting into routine. As human beings, we love routine.
Yeah.
So I am extremely. Once I'm in it, I am rolling because it's so easy. You do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It was just letting go of that pizza on a Wednesday. That, baby, do you want to go out for dinner tonight? Do you want to get some popcorn at the cinema and we'll chuck loads of sweets in it and we'll rustle it up? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? All that stuff. There is still time for that. But it's just, if it ain't in line with things, unfortunately, you got to let go of it a bit.
Sorry, Ellie.
She's looking over, smiling. But what's great is, I will never be the one to not say, "Oh, you can't have that." You know, she gets to have that stuff. Like, for example, we did our online shop. She got some cool pastry things. I just asked her, "How does it taste? Is it good? Is it good? Like, what's it like?"
That's very much like me and Zoe at the moment. Any food I eat, even prep food, even my food, like just normal meals, I'm eating. Like, talk to me. Tell me how it tastes. Like, do you want me to set the microphone up and be like them Chinese people and slap into the microphone so you can hear me chewing or something?
Yeah, it's like, and I do have to take my hat off to Zoe, because where obviously you're a competitor as well, seeing you, because obviously your food goes quite high quite quickly, and we know, obviously me and you both know how creative you are with your macro tracking to make your food as fun as it can be, because you're a big lover of food, you know, as a foodie. To sit there and be in the teens of calories, you know, and under 100 gram of carb. So turn it off. Yeah, it's one of those things when you're in the mindset of you just get it done, but it's always going to be something like, oh, that's got to be like, you made that THC cake you made the other day. This
carrot cake.
It was a house trick. It was a house trick.
Rocketed. I was comatose, man. I had such a thin slice this carrot cake. Like, it's so macro friendly. You have the tiniest bit and it fucking spin you.
Really?
I was dribbling. I was on the sofa like just asleep at 8:30, and Zoe went to bed, and I woke up at like 11:30, 12, and was like, I feel like it's been a century, like a whole century's passed. I woke up all disorientated. It was fucking great. Once again, showing my skills for horticulture and cake baking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I did say this to her because I had it in the freezer. The butter was all in the freezer. I need to use it up really, because I was going to go fucking.
What was it? The butter?
THC butter.
Yeah.
So I have that in the freezer like all year round normally, and it'd been in there for a while. And I just wanted to use it up. So I said to Zoe, I was like, I need to bake something, but I don't want to bake something too fucking nice like I normally do, because she doesn't have any. And then I was like, and she just said, do a carrot cake. And I was like, are you sure though? Because I love carrot cake, and she's not that fussed.
Okay.
I did it, and she looked at it and she went, I lied. I really want this now. And I was like,
yeah.
So yeah, the food focus is there. I've been trying good. It was weird. There was a turning point. So I was being decent. I wasn't getting takeaways or anything like that. It would just be, babe, I'm going to save a meal and I'll macro track and I'll do like homemade chicken burgers and potatoes in the air fryer, just because she's seen me eat that most days. So it wasn't going to be like I'm eating something she wanted. But then as it's got worse and worse, the off plans I was doing at home out of my food were becoming like, she was looking at her. I could see little things like her staring at my food and shit, but she wouldn't say anything. So now I've started going out and getting food, because it means that I eat away from her. Like I'm now eating worse cheat meals because I'm having to leave my house.
I need to tell the story of when me and you went and got that Five Guys. So I came up to visit George on the weekend, and it was off plan meal night. And he was like, yeah, if we're gonna go out for food, like, we have to eat in the car. We can't go back to the flat because Zoe will be there. I think this is like the start of prep, like when, you know, obviously getting into the process, and then maybe there was the initial struggles of, you know, being around, you know, a lot of food and you can't have it. And like when George dabbles in a bit of THC, George can turn into a food monster. I saw him inhale a Five Guys quicker than any man I have ever seen. We had what did we have? We had the large sauce things. We had like balance on like the center console and in like the drinks holders. He's got his bag of chips torn open. He's just going in. There was no.
It is efficient. The hand to mouth. It doesn't miss a beat. It's all timed.
Yeah. And there was no time to talk. It's just there's no room. You're not gonna get a comment. Like, I'm thinking, I'm eating this so slow, and I'm actually feeling ill watching him eat all that in one go. It is.
This is the thing.
And then after we ate that, we got back, and Foodie George is still around, and he was like on his phone. He was ordering pizza. He was ordering a freaking pizza after we just found the phone guys.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call balance.
That is balance. Balance with tea.
Balance and high off-season calories that allow for fun.
Ridiculous off-season calories. Some people can't handle that food. Like me and George are polar opposites in what food we can handle. High calories for me is 4,000 calories straight up. That's George just over maintenance easily. Isn't that right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. What's your maintenance macros?
I know the end of the fat loss was 450 grams of carb at the end.
Of fat loss? I just spat everywhere.
Yeah. We made one last adjustment from 470, I think, to 450 or something like that on the last.
Was just falling off
carbs. So that was my lowest it went. Maintenance wise, then was probably 1,000 calories up on that, because obviously I had to account for lipolytics.
Yeah,
I want to say like 4,500 to 5,000 was my maintenance last time.
That's crazy. My maintenance is 3,200, and that's 225 protein, 400 gram of carb, which is the highest ever been. Which is, for me, as the people that know, George knows, I'm not a big eater. For me to be on 400 gram of carb at maintenance is amazing. Yeah. But the crucial part of this is the fat content of our diets.
Oh yeah,
45 grams of fat, and that is poor. When you think the 3 grams of fat in your rice, the 4 grams that are in the bun of something, or if you were to have oats, you couldn't have too many.
So my low in fat loss, my fats were at like 18 grams at the end. It's trace fats. That's all it is. It's trace fats.
Is there any red meat at all in that diet?
Yeah, I was still having one red meat meal a day, but I swapped it out for chicken so that I had more fats to add to the meal.
Yeah.
But I could actually have something.
Any dark chocolate, peanut butter?
Yeah. So all it was, my entire fat intake come from dark chocolate and meat sources, and obviously trace is found in vegetables. And then now, even at the peak of this push, I'm only having 30 grams of fat a day. That's just how my body responds really well. It likes high protein, high carb. And
what's your protein at?
Not high. I'm saying high protein. Like, it's not. I can tell you exactly what it is. I believe it's 2 to 2.2 per kilo, somewhere around that mark, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 255.
Yeah, I'm at
225,
and I think it's 245. Let me quickly check.
Yeah,
this is great for people that want to understand macros and how important and how freaking simple it makes dieting when you've got macros to work with. For people that some like to work with just straight up food plans, fair play, but your diet's boring, mate. I'll be honest, if you haven't got the macros to work with, because it just makes things so easy. You know, my diet, for people, like, for example, here's my diet plan from Joe. As you can see, for people that are watching, it's blank, right? There's no foods on there. All I do is work off macros now, which is sweet. 240 protein now, 400 carb, 45 gram of fat. Obviously, sodium, potassium, fiber is in there as well, which ain't really hard to work out. Some people aren't at a place to work with that. They don't have the knowledge to work on that side of things. Me 2 years ago, couldn't do it. It was too much stress day to day.
You know what? This is one of the cool things I've found. I stumbled across with the Flex Success stuff. Their macro tracking mini course, mate. That thing I was, when me and you do it with our clients, where we trying to coach them into macro tracking and setting up calls and stuff like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of it prior to that, to have like literally a mini course.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the macro tracking consult at some point. Means to it for ages. I've started doing my own clients. I've been doing it for some for free completely because I want to teach them. You know, their money's not worth to me. I know, of course, it is a business, things like that, but I'm like, especially for like clients who are friends as well. I was like, don't want to call me, man, and I'm going to teach you how to macro track some meals right now.
That's what coaches should. That's our job, is to teach.
Yeah. And now you've got lifestyle clients who think, oh shit, my diet, I can change it. Yeah, you can change it. What do you want? Oh, I fancy a steak. Let's get a steak in there. Right. You may not be able to swap your chicken meal for a steak meal. You will have to adapt other meals elsewhere to incorporate that. We start off nice and simple. We try to go for meal first without interrupting the rest of the diet. You know, the easiest meal to do that with is usually meal one because it's plain and simple protein, fats, carbs, all in one, and it's all in moderated amounts. So you can change that for near enough anything. You can change an oats, protein, and dark chocolate meal for a steak, rice, veggies, maybe even some cheese in there if you want it in there. If you want to work in certain amounts, you may have to go for the 30% lighter stuff as we normally do. But it's like, what? But that's completely different. The numbers don't lie. Fact. Yeah. If the numbers work out, no stress, no worries, because you're online. You're in line with doing what you got to do.
Yeah. I literally had this conversation with one of Seth. He's very, very rigid and structured.
You mentioned him before, yeah.
If it's not his plan written out on the piece of paper, he gets stressed out when he's not on it. Uh-huh. And he said to me, he said sorry in his check-in. It was like, I've had to like jiggle things around and blah, blah, blah. Still on point with his macros, but he was apologizing for going off plan. And that's what he said. And I was just like, we've said this. If the numbers match up, you're on. You haven't gone off plan. You haven't cheated. You're on plan. But it's trying to break people out of that mental barrier of, if it's not what's written on my sheet, then it's not like intuitive towards the goal. When it's just not, food is not like, it doesn't have an agenda. There's no good or bad. It's just a numbers game, and it makes it sound really fucking boring.
It really does.
But if you can make the numbers 1 and 1 make 2, then you've won.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Clients that first start off, I don't go with macro tracking straight away. I'll give them the macros, and I mention we will be going into this time goes on. I usually wait for the moment for them to get a little bit bored of something, and then we go into it, because now you want a bit of a change. Some people that I've had, the diet just doesn't change. They enjoy their food sources. It's enough for them. Them changing in the season on their chicken is enough flexibility for them.
Mate, tell me a more versatile meal than chicken, rice, and veggies. You can cook that in whatever which way you want, and it'll be 12 different meals.
Just pick a country and then go with what they do.
That's it. Boom. Jerk chicken, fucking tikka style, madras. Like, you can do anything.
Isn't it? You can make it taste like chorizo if you really want to.
Fully. Spanish, Greek, like, just literally pick a country, just pick a continent and just go.
You got 5 different ways of cooking it, seasoning it, marinating it, just shredding it. I've even seen fellas use whisks, and they shred it with a whisk. My mate Lewis does that.
Slow cook it and afterwards.
Buzz up. It's funny story, because he first tried doing it in a blender. It just turned it into mush. But he then got a whisk. His mum was like baking or something. He was like, "Can I try something real quick?" He got the whisk, and he just shredded it perfectly. People are even putting chicken on cream of rice. I'm sure you've seen that. A few of the boys do that.
I'm still not. I'm not convinced.
Me neither, because people talk about, and people might even listen to this, that do peanut butter chicken. I don't know how plain chicken, peanut butter on cream of rice or something. If you one of them as well, you weird fuck.
I had my favorite meal, and why I'm so bitter about not having any fats. My all-time favorite meal, fucking. I don't want to say like I started this, but this fucker definitely stole it off me. But the problem is that I can't claim that off Nick Walker, can I? Do you know what I mean? Big man coming on Fuad's podcast talking about chicken, banana, almond butter, and rice. I'm saying, like, mate, I was doing that years ago. Come on. Yeah. I can't. He's got it now. He's copped it. He's took it. My moment's gone.
That's like, I'm gonna come out with saying, yeah. You know, when people say doing the do, I can't help but be like, mate, like, I'm sorry, I don't care where you heard that off, but I said it first. Like, it's gonna upset some people. I swear, oh yeah, but I heard this guy say it. Where do you think he heard it from? You know what I mean? It's just, but
just a discretional note, I'm sure there's other people out there that used to eat peanut butter on the chicken and rice and banana. It wasn't just me or Nick that died, I'm sure.
And I'm sure that someone said doing the do way before I said it, but it was just convenient.
You made it cool.
No, I didn't make it cool.
That was from that same
2019 prep.
Yeah. What's your?
Because I said it every year when I'm doing my cardio, I come up with a saying, and people have clocked onto it over the years. Year one, I said it was rituals. Rituals was the first one because the cardio was my ritual every day, and I just put it on. You know, it's just a little caption to put on a story. And then 2019 was doing the do. I'm just doing the do. The do is getting done. What's the do? The do is everything because we do it. You know. That's it, right?
I like that from Alice in Wonderland. You're not the fucking Mad Hatter at the team.
Mad Hatter, yeah. And the most recent one, anti-fatting. I'm sure you've seen a few.
Yeah. That's coming on quite quickly. A lot of people like that.
See, trust me, because it's just a cool little saying. Because it is, you know, we're burning fat right now. So
you're revolutionary.
What else was? I did start off one because Joe said it. More is more. That's obviously on a drugs related thing. Like more is more because it's like it makes no sense, but it does make sense when you understand what we're talking about. Because more has equaled more, unfortunately.
More is more. More is more gains, more tissue, more risk, more heart problems, more health problems. But more definitely does mean more.
Yeah, more does mean more of everything.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, positive and negative. When was I going to the Arnolds? We've been going for nearly an hour.
We've touched on the Arnolds, man. Oh,
mate, I don't mind talking for longer than we have to, purely because Redcon One just like my comment on their thing. I saw a video, chicken breast in a can, right?
What's that, a Japanese thing? Surely,
it's just American.
American.
It was like I said all the English. I said all the English in here are just thinking, damn, chicken in a can, because obviously we don't have that around here, do we?
Fucking hell. That sounds awful. Oh, it's like tuna in a can, man. Nah,
I thought it was tuna because he was like, this is like a chicken. What do you say it is? Barbecue chicken sandwich. I was like, wait, did he get that chicken out of a can? Like, that's the thing?
That's disgusting.
It looks good. Can't deny it because he fries it off, put some cheese. You know, obviously, it's American, of course, going to have cheese on it. But yeah,
he got it out. He deep fried it. He dunked it in about 4 layers of sugar, and then called it a triple XL meal.
Yeah, it does look
standard.
So the Arnold Sports Festival, Columbus, Ohio, was at the weekend. 2 massive fans of bodybuilding here. I am.
Unfortunately, Al watched it. I tried to put it on while I was working, and it was either one or the other. I was focusing too much on the Arnolds. I was focusing too much on work. Yeah. I turned it off in the end and just kept up with highlights as I could. So most of this is going to come from.
Yeah. So of course, as if anyone is a fan of bodybuilding, you'll know, obviously, learn to know the biggest shows in the world are. Well, it starts off with the Olympia, is the biggest bodybuilding show in the world. And then you have the Arnold Sports Festival, which is in Columbus, Ohio. That is the second most prestigious one. And then under that, you probably have the New York Pro, which is probably the one below that. And
probably the other Arnold first.
The Arnold Australia might be the one, but I don't know. I just know the top 2.
The other American one. There's 2 in there.
There's Arnolds all over the world. It's in every single country.
Yeah, I was going to say we could throw the UK one in there and be like, yeah, that's one of the most prestigious in the world. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
The UK is brand new. Maybe it'll get some sort of flow on it because it was definitely the coolest show I've ever watched. The stage was fucking 100 meters long. It was massive and it was just amazing to watch. Anyone who hasn't seen a pro show, I can't wait for you to come watch a pro show and we do it together. It's just they're wearing suits and stuff to promote it and present it. It is professional in its own way. You know, you watch the amateur show in the morning, there's people walking around taking pictures in the aisles, people shouting at each other, get out of the fucking way. Pro show, you're not really allowed to move. You sit down and you watch the show. That's it. You need a pee, you get out slowly, you know.
Yeah. You're not allowed to move quickly.
Nah. So yeah, Arnold Sports Festival at the weekend. I'm obviously a massive fan of bodybuilding, mainly for the open style. Of course, I follow the top classic guys as well. Even some of the wellness ladies that I follow for a long time, bikini athletes such as a friend's partner, Phoebe Hagan, who is the UK Arnold champion. She competed at the Arnolds in America weekend just gone. She won the UK one, last year. Who else did you have? Not many other categories, but obviously the main thing was the open bodybuilding, which is the main thing I'm a big fan of.
See, this is my problem with how it filled into my day, was because I wasn't just interested in open. I wanted to see bikini, I wanted to see wellness figure, see classic and open. So it was just too much. I couldn't pick and choose. It was awful.
Yeah. I watched a lot of the amateur stuff to start with. For guys that know who Andy Scott is, he's probably one of the front runners of the UK guys in the amateur level. Scottish guy. He went there in the super heavyweights. Obviously, super heavyweights, big dude. And he ended up going against Andrew Jacks. Most people probably know who Andrew Jacks is. He's Instagram famous Dubai guy. He's actually 41. I found out Andrew Jacks. He looks like 34, but he's actually 41. Should have been a pro. Yeah, Andrew Jacks 41. I found out. Someone told me when I picked his.
That's something in that Dubai water, man. There's no way he's that young.
There's something in that Dubai GH, I think. Yeah. But yeah, he turned pro. Unfortunately, Andy had to go against him. It's kind of unfortunate that the only time Andrew Jack decides to do an NPC pro qualifier turns out to be the show that he does. But yeah, like Andrew Jack's fucking phenomenal. Just you knew who the winner was as soon as he walked out. Fans of pro bodybuilding, wow, like it was just serious. Like the amount of hype that was behind certain people that people wrote off throughout it, and then you got to see what came of it. There was some controversy with the finishing placings, guys that thought should have placed higher. I even got caught up in some hype beforehand, thinking that the guy I thought was going to win didn't end up coming even in the top 5. Seeing British bodybuilding again get further on the map by watching Sam Eduardo, who I fortunately got to see. Who's this? What we're going to watch now? Yeah, we're going to. This is the amateurs super heavyweights.
When you said about Andrew,
Andrew Jacks is the guy in the red trunks in the middle.
The Titan, Scottish Titan here.
No. That's Andy Scott. He's not Scottish Titan. That's his mate, Greg. That's Andy Scott. Am's Muscle.
That's the one.
Yeah, you see his tags there. Am's Muscle, for anyone who doesn't know who that is. Who, obviously, whoever's watching it, it's good if you watch it because you get to see what we're looking at. But yeah, Andy Scott he's huge in person. And for him to look small next to Andrew Jack, I would love to see what Andrew Jack looks like in person because he's enormous. Oh, look at that. That's Jamie Joe Howe level front lat spread. And if people don't know who Jamie Joe Howe is, you need to know. AKA the Giant, for people that don't know on Instagram.
It's just, yeah, I mean.
People said that Andrew Jack's chest is undeveloped, which is, well, when you're a physique at that level, yeah, you might be able to pinpoint his chest isn't the strongest point, but look at the damn size of the dude.
Condition, man. That was the only thing that
density.
And again, remember just to clarify this, we are only looking from spectator view. Like we've seen videos.
This camera angle was doing my freaking head in the whole time. Look at what kind of angle is that? What can you see? That's the one you need to be looking at the whole time, if you can.
Look at that spread. That's retarded. The size.
But look at the density when it comes to. Of course, I was trying to find every reason why Andy would could have beat him.
As you would for the GB guy.
And if you looked at his posing routine, which he's always savage posing, but just look at that. Unfortunately, he is a bit of a night and day.
Yeah.
Scenario. Just look at the size of him. He probably weighs at least 120 on stage kilos.
More
easy.
Than that, sure. Well, he looks like he weighs more than that.
Yeah. Who knows? Who really knows? Yeah, the guy on the left, I think, was the heavyweight winner, maybe, or the light heavy, and I think the guy on the right was
that one for me of AMS when he throws the hands up. It's the only time I think I've ever seen his waist look small.
Yeah, and people that know he has got more of a squared off looking way, hence why a lot of his shots he turns off to the side. I've seen him in person, competed at the Arnold last year, and he's got a very, very cool physique.
Yeah.
But yeah, pros. Do you know what? Oh, you may want to share your screen again, guys, to Bodybuilding Without Borders, because it's so much easier to go through this.
Oh, we'll do it now.
You do it again.
Wait. Where's that? There we go. Yeah, so in the pro show, now the classic.
Yeah, go for you. Obviously, you've got more of a say on the classic guys, you know. That's your
This
now that was
was
that's first call out. I don't think that's not the finishing placings. If you come off that, you don't even follow Bodybuilding Without Borders.
this is our prospect page.
Oh, gotcha. Does it show the top 4 of classic? I don't think they do. That's all the open stuff.
That's why I went to that one, because you can see the top 4.
I don't know if Breon plays 4th or not. I think he might come 5th.
Who?
Breon.
No, George the Ball come 5th.
No, George the Ball died, mate. He definitely wasn't there.
Michael, fucking George.
Oh, Michael de Ball come 5th.
Michael de Ball. Sorry, what fucking?
Yeah, Michael de Ball, UK-based bodybuilder, won the UK Arnold amateur last year.
Yeah, he was.
He won the pro UK Arnold last year. Who just leveled up.
As I said, so
look at that for a lineup. Look at that for a lineup.
Ramon. 3rd, 4th, and then 5th was Michael.
Yeah. That was so good to see. Just because look at the standard.
It's not a obviously clear fucking detail.
No. There's only a couple of guys really missing from that to be the top in the world, and that is obviously Chris Bumstead, Steve Laureus. For people who haven't seen Steve Laureus in a few years, or those who know that is, he was an Arnold Classic champion, I believe, a few years ago. I think like 2018 or 19 last time he competed. So people that don't know that name, you need to know that name, because he will come back at some point and be impressive.
Well, when I was looking at the classic, my predictions were that Urs was going to come in and kind of shock. Not win. I still had Ruff to win, but I thought Urs would have pressed him hard.
Well, you got to think. Urs come 4th at the Olympia last year. I think it's 4th. So for him to be standing next to number 2 in the world, who's Ruff Diesel.
Yeah, but Ramon.
And then Ramon coming in.
This is the exciting bit, though. Ramon's coming.
Yeah, but that's what Urs did last year.
Yeah,
that was his first pro year. He managed to win his first pro show and then come 4th at the Olympia. Ramon's come in and beat that guy, you know, and
it makes classic a little. The whole flip floppiness between placings makes it exciting, because the come Olympia time, everyone always says Chris will win until he stops competing.
Yeah,
but that second through to 5th spot is a little less clear.
Yeah, it's you could literally choose anyone. To me, Breon hasn't got the classic shape that I think. That's why I don't think he gets rewarded as much anymore, because people see.
I literally had this conversation the other day, and you're probably, I don't know if you're a Breon fan, but I had this conversation the other day. The reason why Breon won was because it was the first Classic Olympia. They didn't really know what they wanted.
He wasn't the first Classic Olympia champion.
I'm pretty sure
that was Danny Hester. Danny Hester was the first Classic Olympia champion.
Where did Breon even compete in the first one then?
Yeah, he's 2-time Mr. Olympia Classic. Breon is, I think. I think it must have been like the years after. I have to do a bit of.
I'm gonna have to look that up. So I thought he won the first one and then won the second.
Classic Olympia placings from start. Let's have a quick look.
But yeah. Anyway, his physique ain't classic. Not what the direction classic has gone in. Sadly, in the last 3 years, he not classic at all. His shape, his flow, he just looks like a small bodybuilder. Kind of that guy that fits the weight cap.
Let's take a look. No, that's only showing 2021.
Urs, man. Jesus.
Yeah, the only thing that you can see with Urs is he's 23 years old. So the only thing that he hasn't got that maybe some more seasoned pros have got, and people are going to be like, oh, do we have the right to comment on this? And we're just talking about as fans of bodybuilding, of course. It's just the overall denseness that it looks obviously, but look at that, mate, for a rear double. Holy, for people that can't see what we're talking about, god damn.
The furthest one away from us as well.
And he's the last guy on the end. He looks like the winner of the shot. But this shot stands out the most. Like, look at Rough Diesel's hamstring to glutes, mate.
Yeah,
like, that is disgusting. It is. And then Ramon as well. You could have easily flip-flopped between Ramon and Urs. Only thing, the reason why I think they chose him over, not just because of hype or anything like that, but overall completeness to a physique. Urs, his limbs are so long. When you see him pose and in between shots, he's very limmy.
His biceps let him down a little bit.
They're not enormous. Like, even obviously these pictures are poor quality. Like, when we watch the live stream, I don't know how people picked it, to be honest. Like, it's just.
But yeah.
Going to the Pro Open then.
Your favourite. Let's get the exciting stuff. Do it, Brett, though. Come on.
Brett looked, well, that's not a good shot. That picture doesn't show what I saw, even on the live stream. That doesn't reflect the same dude that came walking out. This is what annoyed. This is why people can have so much of opinion just by looking at this picture. That's not the same as what you see when he come walking out.
Yeah, of course there's a difference in picture quality, man, but this is still a fucking impressive physique from where it was last time. Jesus.
Even Matt Jansen did a video on Brett's YouTube talking about he didn't even want Brett to have to come out and say things, you know, just Matt Jansen's the one that made the decisions. He still is one of the best bodybuilders in the world. But you're going up against best bodybuilders in the world. So, like, you shouldn't even feel like you have to explain yourself, but it's just nearly there. And it will be. You know, the guy is blown up over years, and I'm a fan of him, just the way he carries himself. Like, those pictures are shit. Like, that's not what you see in the live stream. Try to find something else. There's got to be something else you can show, because quality is just awful. But yeah, Brett looked awesome. He didn't like, you know, like when a physique comes walking out and you have like a standout, the people that stood out the most was Justin Rodriguez when he come walking out, and William Bonac. Out of all the people that walked out, you're just like, wow. Steve Kuklo, I'm too used to looking at him come out looking like a mass monster, huge, 6 foot plus guy, enormous. And where he come in looking different, he was just a bit off for me, so I wasn't really feeling it. And then obviously Samson's blown up to like 280 pounds, maybe, I think, on stage, and he just looks in world of his own. You know, he looked fucking savage. Like, it's just cleaner, and that's the top four. Sorry, top five. Well, was the top five at that moment. Amazing achievement. Look at him. Proper fan of him, Samson. Yeah. And going to this is on the second night. This is finals. If there was a clip of Justin on day one, I had him as top two. Because if there's a video of him, maybe there is. Hopefully there is. If you keep scrolling. Oh, second, that's finals again. That one. It's pre-judging. You want to hopefully be able to see. Scroll up a bit. I think that it was there, because that's still classic. That one on the left. That is, yeah.
Red trunks.
Him on this night, I had him as nearly the winner.
I can't believe the improvements Bonac's made, man. Well, not improvements, what he's clawed back, I should say. This is the one I was excited for. When I was tuning in for the open bodybuilding, this was the physique I wanted to see. Just because so many people had slated him down, and even I said that fucking. We've had this conversation about it. I said, you know, can someone that age bring it back? Yeah. Age had proved. He silenced everyone.
Like I was saying to you before we got on here, when someone comes walking out and you're like, oh wow, like that was what you got from him when he just come walking out. Like, people need to try and watch YouTube videos, good quality ones or anything, at least to try and get an understanding of how good it actually looked when he come walking out. He beats Brandon in every shot. Like, we'll just keep watching this for a minute. Like, front lat now, density, condition.
It's just the wackiness of it, Brandon's proportions, though, man. That tight waist to the lat.
I'm a big fan of him. I really am. It's just, but look at it from the side. You're going to see Brandon's leg disappear next to William Bonac's.
Yeah, of course.
Ready? If the cameraman wants to sort his fucking life out. See, this is what was annoying me. There we go. Yeah. You almost had it.
That's right. We're just going for matches now.
And then this is where you see it even more.
Mate, the legs of Bonac.
It's just ridiculous, mate. But then look at Justin Rodriguez rear double when he hits it. It beats everyone else. Look, even William Bonac, it beats everyone in that rear double. Bam.
Yeah, mad.
The only thing I think let William Bonac down was the stomach in some in-between shots. I guarantee that got marked down, which is really upsetting because you don't even notice it unless you knew, or unless you were looking for. Because I was looking for it in the rear. When a bodybuilder does a rear double or something,
you want about like them in betweenies there?
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, that's the in between you're looking at.
You see what I mean? Because you got Steve physique tight, Brander's tight, Rodriguez on the edge.
Yeah, but when he
pulls it in, it's disappeared.
Yeah, a couple of times.
They rewarded the aesthetics on this one.
Yeah, but Arnold said in previous that he's not a fan.
He hates it. Even when Kai Green won the Arnold, he said, "Pull a vacuum for us now," in front of everyone. He was like, "Pull a vacuum," and Kai Green just laughed because he knows he can't do one. Yeah,
it's mad. There was a lot of storylines to follow coming into this. There was a lot. Like, it was fucking. Yeah, it was just a fun idol. Bodybuilding itself at the moment is quite exciting, I feel.
You got to think everything we say, we just say it as fans of bodybuilding to see what we saw in.
Mate, just opinions, just fans and opinions watching. People choose to listen, they can listen. If they don't want it, they don't want to. Everyone's opinion is just as valid.
But yeah, I think Bonac should have definitely won. He still won the most muscular award, which is still like 20 grand or something. So still good. And he comes second, which is like 100 grand. So he didn't do too bad out of it.
No, he didn't.
People that were hyped coming into it, like Regan, didn't look as good as he last.
Different Steve
Kuklo come in diced, and like people, you see him like stand there. People, he's not that big. Look at him stand next to someone else.
No, Steve is a monstrosity of a man.
You realise how big he is. Veteran.
Did you see the there was a picture Jamie Joel posted of him stood next to Peter. I'm gonna butcher his name.
Mona, yeah.
Mona. It's a picture of him stood next to him, and he fucking dwarfs him.
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
Yeah, but yeah, mate, it was massive, mega exciting. Did you watch any of the slapping?
Yeah, mate, you should have seen my story. I see two guys get knocked out. It was unreal. They're
savage. They're hitting people like palm on.
Mate, there was this one. It comes out, wins the coin toss, first hit, knocks him the fuck out, and it was just literally. It's just so funny. I know people replying to my story saying this is fucking stupid. Why do people do this? Because it's savage, mate. It's just slap for slap.
Why do people get in a ring and fight?
Yeah. Why would you go in there and punch each other up? Because it's entertaining and they're animals.
And they want to do it, so leave them alone.
This one guy, he was like Samoan American. Obviously, where it was an American show and all the fans, he was like USA, USA. The crowd was shouting it. And he was getting mad because the guy was like putting his chin down like this, and he was like, "Put your fucking chin up." He's like, "So I'm gonna slap you." And then like he hit him, and the other guy was like Russian or Polish champion or something like that. He'd never been beaten, and the American guy had never been beaten. So it was like America v Poland or whatever it was. And there was loads of hype with it. And then it was like the third slap, the Polish dude just hits him, the Samoan dude, and he just spanks him in, mate, knocks him out. His head just hits the table, and he just goes, and everyone was like,
Was that the one that was the one I replied to in your story, because he flinches before he hits him, or he moves to the side, and then his head's pinging back into the shot.
Yeah.
Savage.
Absolutely unreal.
What was the did you watch any Strongman or anything like that?
I'm not really into the strongman stuff, to be honest.
Neither, but sometimes you see some cool shit, don't you?
It was where the bodybuilding was on at the same time. I watched a bit of the powerlifting, and then that's just. I'll be honest. I don't see the hype in it, but that's just not my thing. But we'll see if people are into it. Then it's cool to see in person. I'll be honest. When I went to the Arnolds in England, that was cool to watch because when you're there, there's energy from the crowd. You got their fans shouting them, the family, and all that. And it's just like, yeah, fuck, come on, lift that, because it's like weight that me and you will never lift in our lives. And it's just nothing short of impressive.
Don't cut your chickens too short, right? We might get it one day.
We'll see. I'm just currently looking at my chronometer for the day, and it is looking very handsome for
What else you got left to eat?
Huh?
What else you got?
I have got 140 grams of protein to have, 266 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fat.
Oh, you can't. My daily fat intake in one fucking meal.
Oh yeah, because I didn't have my cream of rice this morning. I went for egg whites, and I've had chicken breast to keep the fat content low, and I've still got 15 grams of fat, only because I had 20 grams of cheese earlier, which was 30% lighter. There's more fat. Let's have a look. There was more fat in my chicken breast than there was in my cheese for that meal. How does that work out?
Lighter than light.
Lighter than light. Lighter than light does the job.
What's the cream of rice creation I've been having at the minute? I ran out of protein for a little while I waited for the old re-up.
And sponsor that, mate. Wait, what are you running low on whey for?
Because I ordered so much cream of rice last time. I didn't think anyways. But yeah, no, so I ran out of whey for a couple of days. So I was adding in egg whites and then topping it with a little bit of Greek yogurt. Oh my, the volume of cream of rice with egg whites, like it filled the tub, brimmed it, and then the Greek yogurt sat on top with jam, and I froze it all.
Oh yes.
It was just this massive bucket of cream of rice ice cream. Unreal.
Cream of rice ice cream.
It was unreal. The fucking texture with the egg whites was just perfect.
I'm trying to think, what do I want for my next meal? Like, I might go for spaghetti bolognese again, because that was just. Or I might scrap the pasta and I might just go for like jasmine rice. But I have like a jasmine rice bolognese con carne looking thing.
So con carne.
Well, it's like beef mince, and then I'm going to mix in some low fat dolmio thing, like 100 grams of it, and put it in the jasmine rice.
Standard.
Yeah, that's about 80 grams of carbs.
Taste?
Huh?
You lost your taste?
Nah, which I'm really happy about, because it took me about 8 months.
I was going to say, could you imagine like waiting for fat loss to be ended, and then when it's ended, you've lost your taste?
That's what happened to me on my prep. I literally competed. I got COVID at the hotel because a few other guys got it and my girlfriend got it, and she didn't even leave the hotel because obviously it was no spectators. And then I lose my taste for months on end. Meat just ended up tasting like heat. It was really strange. I could just taste heat. That was all I had. And I still ate like a pig because I wanted the texture of that wasn't rice and fucking grits, you know. So a bit of a strange thing. Like, you can't taste anything while you eat it, because I'm a fat kid deep down. All right, John, that's what it is. You know, that's what it is, mate. All right, you want me to say it? That's it, because I'm a fat kid. How long have we been going for? Because this has been going for a while.
Who knows? Wouldn't be able to tell you how. But I think on that note,
yeah, I need to
wrap
eat.
it up, because you need to eat. I need to eat. I've got some odds that need some check-ins as well.
Yes, mate. Obviously, let me know how things are going. Feel free to ping over some foreseeable fucking exciting people.
No, client confidentiality. We're very professional. We do not do that. It's not shared amongst other groups.
You can send me Instagrams though.
That's correct. If they post it, it's already out. Oh mate, it was like I think he's like 6'5", fucking New Zealand hacker guy. I went on his Insta and he literally like full blown doing the hacker and fucking like, yeah, it was sick energy. Yeah, absolute monster, man. I'm hoping I get him.
Who is this? Sorry.
I'll ping you over his Insta.
Yeah.
Mate,
I'll just consult after this.
Yeah, absolutely, like the prospect what could be just insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane, mate. All good. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab some food.
Yeah, I need a toilet and I need to demolish a whole lot of food. I've got 2,000 calories to have. It's gonna be amazing.
Big vlog. Until the next time.
Right, thank you for joining, everyone. And we'll see you on the next one. We'll try and get another guest on. Feel free to DM us on either of our pages, Alexander_becoming or GW Physique, and then we'll see if we can get on. I think Muscle Mentors, Pro Coach is going to be the guy I'm hunting for. See if we can get him on.
Yeah. And then we've got to decide on what in the world of physique development and bodybuilding we're going to ask him.
What's been amazing is because he's currently all over the world, so I don't think he has time right now, but definitely maybe in the lead up to this weekend, we might be able to sneak him on, because what a guy to be able to talk to. with how his career is going and leveling up. That's going to be awesome if we get that. But yeah, we voiced it now, so let's see if we can get him on.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.